The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zinthar of the Araxian Collective rose to speak. His iridescent scales shimmered under the soft blue light as he addressed the desperate gathering. "We have exhausted all diplomatic channels with the Void Harvesters, the Ambassador's translator device, conveyed in the universal language. Their hive ships continue to consume entire systems along the outer rim. 17 worlds have already fallen. Billions lost." Around the massive circular chamber, representatives from 36 spacefaring civilizations shifted uncomfortably. The Araxians were known for their measured responses and unflappable demeanor. If they were alarmed, the situation was dire indeed. High Chancellor Elora of the Luminary Concordance, the oldest and most technologically advanced civilization in the known galaxy, activated her speaking platform. Her voice, like gentle chimes, resonated through the chamber. "The Concordance has deployed our most advanced defensive arrays to the affected sectors. Our predictive models suggest they will hold for approximately 72 standard cycles before the Harvesters adapt." More murmurs filled the chamber. If even Luminary technology couldn't withstand this threat for longer than 3 days, what hope did the younger civilizations have? In the far corner of the chamber, at the smallest and least ornate of the speaking platforms, Dr. Elena Vasquez of Earth sat quietly. Humans had only gained representation in the Galactic Council 23 years ago, practically yesterday, in cosmic diplomatic terms. Most species still viewed humans with suspicion, if not outright disdain. "Perhaps," ventured T. Lark, the methane-breathing representative of the Vordanai hierarchy, "we should consider sacrificing the outer rim systems to contain the Harvesters while we develop more effective countermeasures." Elena felt her blood boil at the casual suggestion of abandoning billions to their deaths. This was exactly why humans struggled to integrate with the galactic community. Where other species saw cold logic and acceptable losses, humans saw unacceptable tragedy. To the rest of the galaxy, this emotional response made humans unpredictable, dangerous, the killers of the cosmos. When first contact had occurred, the galactic anthropologists had been shocked by human history. Thousands of years of warfare, weapons designed specifically to kill other humans. The only known species to have deployed atomic weapons against their own kind. The humans had nearly destroyed their own planet more than once. The peaceful, enlightened species of the galaxy viewed humans as barely contained barbarians. A necessary evil to be tolerated, as Earth sat on a strategic hyperlane junction. Elena activated her platform, and several representatives visibly tensed. The human was going to speak. "The Terran Confederation has a proposal," she said, keeping her voice level despite her inner fury at the Vordanai suggestion. "We have been studying the Harvester attack patterns and believe we have identified a weakness." High Chancellor Elora tilted her luminescent head. "Please elaborate, Representative Vasquez." "The Harvesters operate as a hive mind, coordinated by queens aboard each mothership. Our analysis suggests a concentrated attack on these ships could disrupt their coordination enough to force a retreat." "We've considered this," rumbled Ambassador Zinthar, "but their defensive capabilities make any approach impossible. Even automated drones can't get close enough." Elena took a deep breath. "That's why we propose using human strike teams." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of translated protests and exclamations. "Silence," commanded Elora, her voice uncharacteristically sharp. "Let the human finish." "Thank you, High Chancellor," Elena continued. "As you all know, humans have particular evolutionary traits that make us unique in this assembly." That was a diplomatic way of saying that humans were the only species in the Council that still maintained military forces, as other species had long ago evolved beyond warfare. The only species whose history was written in blood and battle. The only species whose neural patterns couldn't be detected and predicted by Harvester sensors, thanks to the chaotic, emotional human brain. Admiral Chen has prepared a briefing on our tactical approach, Elena said, transmitting the data packet to the central display. The holographic projection showed human warships small and primitive by galactic standards, but heavily armed, supported by more advanced Allied vessels. But what truly shocked the assembly was the footage of human special forces training to infiltrate the Harvester motherships. "You would send your people inside those things?" asked T. Lark, the translator, unable to fully convey the horror in his voice. "Even with our most advanced predictive algorithms, survival probability is below 7%. Elena smiled grimly. "Humans have a long history of beating the odds, Counselor." 3 days later, Elena stood in the command center of the TSS Intrepid, watching as 20 dropships, each carrying a 6-person human strike team, launched toward the Harvester fleet approaching the Araxian colony world of Nithvar. Nearly 7 million refugees had been evacuated, but another 12 million remained on the surface. Admiral Chen stood beside her, his weathered face illuminated by the tactical displays. "Strike teams report ready, Doctor. Luminary stealth fields are holding. Estimated time to insertion, 17 minutes. Elena nodded, her throat tight. 120 volunteers. The finest warriors Earth had to offer, carrying explosives to the hearts of the enemy vessels. A suicide mission, though no one had used those exact words. "The Council still doesn't understand," Chen said quietly. "They think we're doing this because we're violent. Because we're killers." "And why are we doing it, Admiral?" Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. "Because we're protectors," he replied simply. "Because we refuse to calculate acceptable losses when lives are at stake. The galaxy sees our capacity for violence as a flaw. They don't understand. It's just the shadow cast by our capacity for sacrifice." The operation that followed would forever change how the galaxy viewed humans. Of the 20 strike teams, 11 succeeded in reaching their targets. 11 Harvester motherships destroyed from within, their queens eliminated, throwing the hive into chaos. The cost was devastating. 97 humans never returned from those ships. But Nithvar was saved, and for the first time, the Void Harvesters retreated. In the emergency council session that followed, High Chancellor Elora formally recognized the human contribution. "We have long viewed humans as dangerous because of their violent history," she acknowledged. "Today we must recognize that sometimes, when faced with an implacable enemy, it takes a species familiar with battle to find a path to victory." Ambassador Zinthar went further. "The humans did what none of us would even consider. They knowingly risked and gave their lives to protect others. Not just their own kind, but beings from across the stars whom they had never met. Perhaps we have misunderstood humans all along. We feared their capacity for violence, never recognizing that it springs from the same source as their capacity for heroism." As Elena listened, she thought of the names and faces of those who hadn't returned. The killers who had come to the rescue, not because they loved violence, but because they couldn't stand by and watch others suffer when they had the power to help.